Welcome into Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib, along with the head coach of the Tigers, David Alexander. I'm Charlie Hannema. Glad you're with us tonight as the Broken Arrow Tigers are #1 in the state and 2-0, coming off a big 28-6 win over Mansfield in the Border Brawl. Coach, just your opening thoughts on Mansfield last week.
Well, I loved it. I love what we're doing. We've been playing Texas teams since I got here. Mansfield is a great ISD, 5 schools. I thought it was really cool for the whole Northeast Oklahoma high school football to get those teams come up here. Coach Mayberry does a great job. They were a young football team from a team that graduated 51 seniors last year, and we had them outmanned. Right? We weren't sure. We hadn't seen them on film. We didn't know exactly what we were getting before the game because we had played a game and they hadn't. But we physically dominated them on both sides of the football.
We'll dive a little more into the recap of the Mansfield game coming up. But yesterday with Labor Day, no school, and
right.
I guess really no school Thursday, Friday either. How do you manage the practice schedule? Do you keep everything at the same time despite being out of class?
Man,
or what do you do?
Boy, it's really tough, right, when there's no school. I love it when the kids are on routines. And so Thursday, our teachers, all the teachers had to work. So yeah, we kept the same routine. We brought the kids in normal time, what we do on a Thursday, had our team dinner, everything after school time. Friday, again, the teachers worked, so I brought the kids up in the morning for breakfast. It was just me and Coach Wilkinson there. We fed them breakfast. We got them up out of bed. We had some special teams walkthroughs and some stuff like that with just Coach Wilkinson and myself. And then we gave them some time off. And then back again like a normal Friday with school, right? Team meeting at 2 and then get right into our routine. Monday, Labor Day, it was, again, no school, a little bit crazy routine, but, we put in a 14-hour day, or the coaches did. I was up there at 8, and the kids came in about noon. We had meetings and practice, a 2-hour practice, and then we got on a bus and went and played a JV game. So, we celebrated Labor Day by working real hard.
By laboring.
That's right.
What's the demeanor been like with your club, 2-0 now, kind of, maybe more in a groove than the start of last year?
Well, we talked about this a little bit with the Union game, right? It validates how hard they've worked. But then, the way they played, I think we played even a sharper game against Mansfield, which you usually do. You make a little progress between game 1 and game 2. We had the fumble, which is inexcusable, but as far as operationally, we were sharper. No 25-second clock violations, no substitution problems, stuff like that was much sharper. Our confidence is riding high, and it should be. You've played 2 good football teams, 2 well-coached football teams, and you've won, and you were able to relax in the fourth quarter there in both those games. So, but we've had 1 day of practice, and our kids, men, have just bought into what we're doing. We're going to talk to D'Amico, and they're bought in. They're freaking practicing hard, and they're playing hard. So there's no reason their confidence shouldn't be real high.
I love it. The 2-0 Broken Arrow Tigers take on the Owosso Rams. First road game of the year, Friday night. It's a 7:30 kickoff at Owosso. We'll have it for you on AeroVision and 97.1 FM, the Sports Animal. Pregame on the radio starts at 7. When we come back, Coach and I will dive into the Mansfield game, and then later in the show, as Coach mentioned, we'll catch up with Tigers senior defensive tackle D'Amico Roland. Stay with us. This is Broken Arrow Football.
My kids had just recovered from being sick, and I found myself sick. And it was time for me to get the care that I needed, and I didn't want to get the kids out of the house, so I used St. John On Demand.
St. John Clinic On Demand is our innovative 24/7 virtual care clinic. It's accessible from your phone, from a tablet, or from your computer anytime.
I registered for the appointment on my phone and visited with a provider and had a prescription called in for me all within an hour.
So the type of patient that would use this service is someone that has a minor illness. Angela's case is a perfect use of our services. We came to her in her time of need versus her having to come for us.
St. John On Demand is such a great alternative to loading the kids up, getting them to the doctor's office, waiting in the waiting room. So now I'm healthy, my kids are healthy, and I will definitely use St. John On Demand again.
My name is Abigail Bailey. I was at my yearly checkup when I was 12, and we went and got x-rays, and she diagnosed me with scoliosis and that we needed surgery as soon as possible.
Tulsa Bone and Joint was very compassionate. They took their time with us. They answered questions. He was very encouraging.
Dr. Clark helped me see that there is life after spinal fusion. Just because your spine is fused doesn't mean that you can't do what you love to do.
Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib is brought to you in part by St. John Broken Arrow, Tulsa Bone and Joint, TTCU Federal Credit Union, First National Bank of Broken Arrow, the Arrow Group, and Matthews Ford. Thank you for your support of Broken Arrow Tiger Athletics. Back with Coach Alexander on Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. Broken Arrow coming off that big 28-6 win over Mansfield, and you guys got it started early. 3 and out, and then marching down the field with a touchdown.
It was awesome, right? You never know what you're going to get. New team, but man, I hope we show a clip of the very first play of the game. Right, D'Amico Roland, right, our guest. Man, he blows up the complete offense, knocks 3 guys down, and then tackles a guy for tackles a running back for a loss, and then it was on from there. Then we went out offensively, ran the ball, moved the ball down the field, and got a touchdown. A great way to start the game. Fantastic atmosphere, right? Mansfield brought a ton of people, sold almost 700 tickets. So it was another great Friday night at Tiger Field.
And then another 3 and out, and right back down the field you go for another touchdown.
Well, the emotions were high. We were feeling pretty good. We were feeling pretty good about ourselves after the Union game. The execution was good. We had a really tight game plan against Mansfield, not knowing exactly what we were going to get. So it was pared down a little bit. So we were really sharp to start. We stayed in our base defense as well. We had a little different look for Union, so we were back in our base front. Kids felt real comfortable offensively and defensively. And so we just turned them loose, and some plays were made by Noah, the quarterbacks on offense, D'Amico, the linebackers, the whole defensive group making some plays early in the games. It was a fantastic start.
Now we jump into the second quarter, and you've got that play with Gavin Potter. They're backed up to the 1-yard line. All of a sudden the ball comes out, and he's got in the end zone for a touchdown.
Man, it's incredible how he's played. I told him at halftime, he had the penalty, but I told him at halftime, he's just playing as good as any linebacker I've been around, right? And of course, Zach Marcaselli's right there statistically playing just as well. It's incredible what those 2 guys are doing. But the play in the end zone, right? No one was real sure who got the strip, because it was just a mass of humanity right there. But man, from the jungle, we've got a little video, and it just shows it perfect. Gavin slicing through there, getting his hand on the ball carrier. Now, the defensive line's got the offensive line stood up, so there's no place to go. The ball kind of spins out right there, and it seems like it's laying on the ground forever. It's probably just a couple seconds. Gavin picks it up, gets the touchdown, and then that shot from the end zone, camera pans up to the students, and they're going freaking bananas. So it was pretty cool. And it was a great play by Gavin. Great play.
Yeah, your 2 stud linebackers, Zach Marcaselli, 19.5 tackles, 5 tackles for loss, and then Gavin, 18.5 tackles and 6 for loss. So hard to get 2 guys better than that in the first 2 games of the season.
Well, they're both right, tough, mentally tough, physically tough players. They both can run, and they just have a nose for the football. There's players I've been around and coached my entire life that just somehow the ball just seems to find them, and Gavin and Zach are those kind of guys. The ball just kind of happens to show up where they're at, or maybe they just show up where it's at, and good things happen when a linebacker is running full speed at the football.
The stats on your defense, you kind of just shake your head. You look at Mansfield's rushing, 26 carries for 14 yards, so 0.5 yards, just half a yard per rush. So for the season, Tiger opponents just 1.3 yards per carry. That's almost unheard of.
Yeah, we'll win a lot of football games doing that, right? The successes of team football, winning team football games, right? Run the football, stop the run, dictate to either their defense or their offense, and right now we're doing that. And if we can continue that, we're going to have a really good season.
Let's look critically a little bit at the offense, because great first couple drives, and then things kind of seem to stall out a little bit after the 21-0.
Yeah, there's the coaches, right? The coaches' axiom, right? You want to do things. You want to try to finish the game the right way. You want to maybe expand the playbook a little bit and put your quarterbacks under some stressful situations. But as soon as you do that, you get out of your game plan, right? Bad things happen. You're not as in sync. And so the head coach is on the sidelines, asking the coordinator, hey, man, let's just get back to what we do. But, as you go through the season, get ready to play Owosso and then go play Jinx and the district schedule, and you're going to have to expand your playbook. So there's a give and take there. You hate it. Coach Alexander called for a fake punt. I wanted to fake a punt against Mansfield, so it'd be on film for Union for Owosso and Jinx the next couple of weeks. Because Owosso's tried to block every punt so far this season. We want to get them to sit back in their defense and just relax. And Bryce Machota he's going to walk for 15 yards. It's going to be an easy first down. And Andrew Ream snaps a little hot and high. And, that takes momentum away from the defense too. They're freaking cruising. You've already got the touchdown. And then you got a chance to punt them down there and pin it deep. But, in your game plan, you want to do this stuff, and now they get the ball at the plus 40 or plus 35, whatever it was. And it's frustrating, but the defense responded. So, when you're in a game, when you've got the physical upper hand and you want to do some things, not necessarily for that game, but for future opponents, and it just gets disjointed. And it's frustrating on the sidelines. And I'm sure it's frustrating in the stands too. But, we're doing things for a reason, and we want Owosso and Jinx to see those things. Yeah, it sure would have been nice to just go out there and run up a couple more touchdowns and go into halftime.
What did you see from your quarterbacks? I know you mixed them both in. Tate Robards, 7 of 14, 39 yards, and Quintevin Cherry, 4 of 5 passing, 37 yards, and Cherry had 11 carries for 20 yards and had a touchdown there too.
Well, I think Q made a couple steps forward this week. He threw the ball well, on time a few times to the receivers, and golly, he's such a mismatch running the football, especially after you've got, hand the ball to Noah Cortez a few times, and the defense knows they have to be cueing, I say cue, right? They have to be watching Noah because he's the guy, and you fake the ball to Noah going one direction and Quintevin Cherry runs back the other way. It makes it very difficult on the defense. So I was proud of what he did. We were really glad to get him a touchdown because he'd done a little bit of the dirty work on short yardage runs. Tate was a little hit and miss. We'd like to see him get, kind of continue that hot streak that he had in the second half against Union. He missed a few throws he should have had. Not all those throws were his fault. There were a few on the receivers as well. But we have to get better in the throwing game. We're going to play Owosso this week. We're going to have to throw it on some third downs and convert those. And we're going to have to throw the ball against Jinx, right? They're not going to sit back there and play zone coverage. They're going to get up in there and man us up and bring some guys down close to the line of scrimmage. So we got to get a little better in the passing game.
All right. It's a lot easier to work on things when you're 2-0. So
correct.
We will look forward to that. We'll take a timeout here on Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. Our player segment's up next with senior defensive tackle D'Amico Roland.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
My dad's always saying a little extra effort now will really pay off later. Here's how you can put in just a little extra effort and help out our schools in a big way. Just switch your checking account to TTCU. It's easy. You get $150 just for switching. And every time you use your school pride card, TTCU donates to our schools. So far, over $1 million. They're the only ones doing that. So make the switch to TTCU and be the person who's making a difference for our schools.
The Tigers of 1929 tied for the Oil Valley Conference lead with rival Bixby Spartans. Broken Arrow's only loss coming at the hands of the Spartans, who finished their schedule with 2 ties and no losses. Apparently, Bixby wanted no more of our Tigers that year, as they refused a challenge from Broken Arrow after the season to play off the tie. This great moment in Tiger history is brought to you by First National Bank of Broken Arrow, a loyal fan of our community for over 100 years. First National Bank of Broken Arrow, the right balance.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. It's our players segment now, and we are joined by senior defensive tackle D'Amico Roland, the big man in the middle for the Tiger defense. Thanks for being here. How's it feel to be 2-0?
It feels real good, and we're just working hard for it every day.
Your defense has been so incredible to start the season. What's been working well for you guys?
Everybody wants to win, and we all want to be at the ball. Everybody wants to make a tackle, so we're going to do it as a team, and we're going to win the game.
Coach, what have you seen from D'Amico? I know he's been in the lineup for a while and now kind of taking more of a leadership role up front.
Well, I've been singing D'Amico's praises now for 2 years. He's just, every single day he's gotten better. And, man, if you work as hard as D'Amico does in practice, right, and with his God-given abilities, man, the sky's the limit. He was dominating Friday night against Mansfield, just like he probably will be every game. And it's because look at him. He's always got a smile on his face, right? He loves it. We can't find anything that D'Amico won't do hard and well, right? He loves the weight room. He loves the practice. He loves being in the locker room. He loves his teammates. And you have that attitude when you get out of bed every morning, right? It's easy to get better. And D'Amico has done a fantastic job of that.
What did you learn last year playing next to Derek Shaw, who went on to play, Division I?
He taught me a lot of moves. He taught me the weaknesses and strengths. He's just like, never stop running, never stop going. You don't give up. So that's what he just gave to me, and he brought me to the game like that. So
how do you try and translate that now that you're the guy, you're the leader now this year?
I'm trying to be I'm not trying to be just like him, but I want to be better. And we talked to the whole D-line. We're all at the same pace. We all want to get to the ball, all want to tackle the QB. So we all have the same goal, so we're going to win.
D'Amico Roland is our guest on Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. Let's talk about your defense as a whole, because I'm guessing it makes your job a lot easier as a defensive lineman when you have the linebackers and the secondary behind you like you do.
Yes, Gavin and Zach Marchicelli and Campbell Yeager, they're going to hit you every play. So I'm going to just hold the gap and let them hit you.
Coach, what makes D'Amico such a strong player? We watch him just manhandle the guy across from him, but what is it about him? Obviously, he's got the size, but I know there's so much more to playing defensive line than just being big. Yeah, well,
he's very explosive. His first step is as big. He covers as much ground as his first step as anybody I've ever seen. And if you can cover 1.5 yards in one step, and already create push or make a bubble in the offensive line. It takes away the cutbacks. It knocks off pullers. It just cuts the offense in half, what they're trying to do with that explosion. And he's big, right? He's 6'3", 6'4", whatever he is now, 290 pounds. So he's already big, but that explosiveness with the size, it cuts the run lanes in half on an offense, and it just makes it very, very difficult.
Take us inside the defensive game plan a little bit, because obviously, right, the big goal is simple. Don't give up any points, or definitely give up less points than the offense scores. But I know you guys focus on other goals throughout the week. So what kind of stuff, what makes a successful performance for this Tiger defense?
First, it's no missed tackles. Everyone has to make their tackle when you need to, and then everybody needs to do their responsibility. And then everybody just going 100% every time, every play, nobody giving up.
What did you think about this Mansfield game last week? Playing a Texas team, they obviously have a reputation down there of kind of the kings of high school football. So for you guys to be able to just dominate them physically like you did, what'd that do for you guys?
It just made us better. Our goal was to stop the run, and they barely ever ran the ball on us. We had them out their game. We had them throwing the ball. It was just it was a fist fight, and we won the fight.
What's your attitude like now as you get ready for Owosso on Friday? It's Tuesday. We're doing this show. We've got a few more. Are you ready to go get hooked up today, or is it hard to hold back?
Yeah, it feels like a championship game. It's like we're going against the defending champs, and we're #1 right now. We want that crown.
What else do we need to know about D'Amico Roland, Coach?
Well, he's going to be a whole chapter in my book. When I retire from football, D'Amico will be a complete chapter. When he was a sophomore, he coming over from wrestling, he was out of shape. He wasn't sure he really wanted to be there. And then something switched in D'Amico right before spring ball his sophomore year. He really decided he wanted to be there and he wanted to be good. Now, he was a long way away at that time, but he's progressed every single day. He's gotten better. You saw the progression his junior year last year, right? From where he was first game of the season against Union to where he was the last game of the year against Union. Making plays in the backfield, hustling to the football. Just, he talks about the defense. Wanted to be the first guy there, and now he's the most dominant defensive lineman in the state, all right? Especially inside guy. He's big, he's explosive, and he can run. And he's a big man that moves. He's a tough handle. He's not going to get blocked one-on-one this year. Nobody will block him one-on-one.
If you're not playing football, what kind of stuff are you doing?
I'm outside playing basketball. I'm playing some type of sports.
He thinks he's a hooper, right?
What, are you a deep shooter? I'm guessing you have a post game.
Yeah, I'm in the post game, somewhere low.
I love it.
I do too.
Pre-game playlist. What are you listening to get fired up?
Lately, it's been we just all listen together, like NBA YoungBoy, just all the rappers now, Drake and all that.
Coach, you ever heard of NBA YoungBoy?
Well, I walk in the locker room before the game and they've got it going on. I can't understand anything that's being said, but you know, each team is so different, right, from year to year to year. And this group, man, they do everything together, right? The defense is in there together before a game, right? You said listen to music, right? But man, there's not any separation. That group, that defensive group, is a very, very tight group, and it shows on the field on Friday nights how they're playing. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about that as we talk with D'Amico Roland on Inside Tiger Football. You've got so many guys that played a lot last year on that defense, so there's not a huge adjustment period to who's this guy, what are his strengths, how does he play. What does that do for you guys as seniors, knowing that you know a lot about the guys with you?
It's just like we're experienced and everybody knows what's expected, and we want to go get a gold ball, so everybody is working together as one. Awesome. D'Amico Roland, thanks for being here. Good luck Friday night against Owosso. Because D'Amico showed up on Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. He's got $25 to Rib Crib, which will cover about half his meal, so he'll be good. D'Amico, thanks for being here. We'll take a timeout. Coach and I will look ahead to the Owosso Rams after this.
In the folded flag, we see the heavy price of freedom. Nearly 9 out of 10 dependents of America's fallen and disabled soldiers do not qualify for federal scholarship assistance. The Folds of Honor closes that gap, already providing over 10,000 scholarships. Join us in this noble mission. Donate today at foldsofhonor.org. This is your call to duty.
The 1982 Pride of Broken Arrow Marching Band had a spectacular and rewarding year. Led by Senior Drum Major Paul Gerder and Junior Drum Major Mindy Denton, the Pride and its members practiced relentlessly with the utmost determination and won the sweepstakes of the Midwest Championship in the Colorado Marching Band Competition, which was truly a great honor and led many to declare the Pride the grandest band in the land. This great moment in Tiger history is brought to you by First National Bank of Broken Arrow, a loyal fan of our community for over 100 years. First National Bank of Broken Arrow, the right balance.
Welcome back to Inside Tiger Football, presented by Rib Crib. Final segment with Coach Alexander as we now look ahead to Broken Arrow's first road game of the year at Owosso, 7:30 Friday night. We'll have that for you live on AeroVision and on 97.1 The Sports Animal. Coach, Owosso, 1-1.
Right.
Put up some points, put up a lot of points,
but
defense has been giving up some points too.
Well, a lot of points, right? Coach Blankenship over there is calling the plays, and they've got a great quarterback in Will Keeney coming back. He played last year as one of the Metro Players of the Year, and he's a fantastic football player, winner. Just finds a way to get the ball to somebody that's going to make a play. Even if that has to mean he has to run the ball a little bit, he's a special kid. And they're probably giving up a lot of points because they're scoring so fast, right? Their defense has been on the field a lot. So we're going to have our hands full. We will not be able to stop Keeney, the quarterback. We're going to have to just figure out a way to stop everybody else running the football, and then rally when he does some things.
And Keeney runs a little bit too.
Yeah, he
does. He's got a couple of rush touchdowns, and Tigers really haven't seen much quarterback run so far this year.
No quarterback run game until now. And yes, he might be their best runner. I know they've got a couple good running backs. The Jacobs kid hasn't played. He'll play against us. I'm sure. This is a big game, but the quarterback run game makes it so difficult. It adds a gap, and especially when you got a kid that, like we talked about already, he's a winner.
Defenses, the two opponents you guys have played, Union and Mansfield, have thrown it 49 times against you guys. Doesn't really seem like that much, just based on how the games have gone. But your guys have seen some pass game.
Well, you have. Union's always got a good quarterback, and they've got skilled guys on the outside to throw it to. So we were prepared for the pass game against Union. you know, Mansfield, we took the run. They want to run the ball, but we took it away from them and forced them to throw the football, which was good. Get us ready for this week. You know, it'll be the opposite way this game against Owosso. They'll throw first and run second. So, different animal altogether.
Can you feel the hunger in your guys with how that went last year, losing up there to them?
Of course.
Kind of a revenge tour this year almost?
It's simple, right? There's no motivation that Coach Alexander has to give to the kids. I mean, you know, you're talking about the defending state champion. You know, man, they went through everybody last year. They didn't have hardly a close football game, and they've done a great job. So we're going to go up there with a little chip on our shoulder. They beat us pretty good, and you know, we need to go up there and perform like we've performed, and then, you know, at the end of 2.5 hours of football, we'll see where we're at.
Final minute here on Inside Tiger Football presented by Rib Crib. What are the keys Friday night to getting that win and going to 3-0?
Well, we need to stay with running the football. If we run the football, we'll keep Keeney and Owosso's great offense on the sideline as much as we can. We need to flip the script on the special teams. Last year they beat us at special teams pretty good. And as of right now, you know, we've been playing really well on special teams, so I like our chances there. It'd be great to get a big play in the special teams. And, you know, we've got to get to Keeney. And we've got to be able to get to him with our 3 or 4 man pass rush, right, and not have to blitz him. If we have to blitz to get to him, he'll have a big night.
All right, Coach Alexander, thanks for being here as
Of course,
always.
Charlie.
Good luck to the Tigers on Friday night. 7:30 kickoff at Owosso. We'll have it for you live on AeroVision as well as 97.1 FM, The Sports Animal. For Coach Alexander and our entire crew, I'm Charlie Hannema. Good night from Broken Arrow.